Quazi here. I achieved everything in my life that I've ever wanted through one main method. And out of every single method that I've ever tried, this one method has gotten me the greatest results I could have ever dreamt of. And after working with over 1,500 clients, we've noticed that they too have benefited from this one method, but through proper application of this method. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how visualization works, why it's the most powerful way to impact reality, and how you can actually use it to influence your reality and see it change right before your very eyes. So let's get started. Now, when I talk about visualization, this visualization technique that I'm going to share with you, it's been refined through years of using it. But what's interesting is the main crux of it has remained the same ever since I started actually visualizing in 2017. I'd like to share with you my story and how I came across visualization, in particular visualizing in this way that I'm going to share with you that defies all conventional ways of visualizing that you've ever been taught, and how this literally made me a millionaire by age 24. I made my first million at age 24. So back in 2018, I was studying in Boston University, getting my engineering degree. I only chose engineering because my parents told me that to get a good job, you need to have a practical degree. I wanted to do physics, but then I realized, okay, well, physics might not, there's a low probability of making money. So all of my goals, hopes, and dreams are tailored around making money, being safe. Okay, and I always believed that I wasn't going to amount to much because I wasn't born into a rich family. I wasn't super intelligent or anything. And so I always kept myself dumbed down, and I never aspired. I never dared to aspire for more. I thought maybe I'm just going to get a safe job and just do the 9 to 5 route, and that's my life. That's it. But then junior year came around of college, and I went to this summer internship at a corrugated box plant, and I believe I was meant to be there. And so when I finally landed that internship and I started attending, they paid me quite well for an intern. I think it was like $30 an hour or something back then in 2019. That was actually quite good for someone who's not even a college graduate. So I started going, and I noticed how miserable the environment was. Every single person around me was trying to put their arms in the machines to get workers' comp. It was a dark environment. You had to wake up at 4 a.m. to be there by 6. So do this Monday through Friday, and you're done at 3 o'clock. So I did that for a month, and every single day I was dreading it. I was like freaking out. Is this going to be the next 40 years of my life? Am I going to be trapped in this? I can't do this. This is unbelievable. Like, this is, in a way, kind of like being in prison. I'm sacrificing my youthful years to be a slave to the machine, the societal machine, right? Just so I can make enough income, pay my bills, have a little bit left over, and then maybe, hopefully, if I've saved enough by retirement time, 65, I'll be able to retire. And then when my bones are all achy and I'm not healthy because I've dreaded the last 40 years of my life, maybe then I'll be able to start my life. Of course, that's not what I wanted to do. And so I started really studying all this stuff. My first into personal development was through the dating niche. I was interested in, attracting women, becoming better at speaking, better communicator. And so I got into this dating niche, and I discovered this book called The Power of Now. They recommended meditating The Power of Now, and I thought, wow, there is something that's beyond this physical realm. And I became deeply interested in that, in the present moment, in pain body attacks, etc. And then I came across another book called Reality Transurfing. And that book completely changed my life. It became, over the next 5-6 years, it became my Bible. And in there, I learned a lot of different methods of visualization that I'm going to share with you right now. But then I also started studying other books, cross-pollinating. And then I started using this knowledge. I started reading books like Think and Grow Rich, Psycho-Cybernetics. And I learned how the self-image, the identity works, and how when I became an attractive person, I believe I was an attractive person, I started attracting women to me, and I started attracting opportunities to me. And all these things kind of happened effortlessly without me needing to fight, which is exactly what I'm going to show you with this visualization technique, this form of visualization. So after I'd achieved the dream body, the relationships and the dating success, I wondered, how can I do it to the one area of my life I never had success in, the area I was the most afraid of: money, career. And so, as per Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's instructions, I wrote down this one page. I'm so happy and grateful that by January 1st, 2019, I have $100,000 in my bank account. At the time, I had two friends who were doing exactly what I wanted to do. They had time freedom, which was something I valued a lot. Not having to trade my time for money. Even if I didn't make too much, if I could support myself and more without having to trade in my time, I was absolutely ecstatic that I could travel the world and do the things I wanted to do, etc. So my friend Arlen and Raphael at the time were doing just that. Raphael was a college dropout. He had an e-commerce dropshipping business, and he was making 10K a month. And so was Arlen. Arlen was in college with me, and he had a really YouTube channel, and he was. So I thought, okay, maybe I should start selling merch. But to sell merch, I need an audience. And both Arlen and Raphael had a YouTube channel. So I'll start a YouTube channel. And so I have this main YouTube channel where I have 800,000 subscribers. Um, and I noticed that they were making videos consistently. So I thought, I'm going to start making videos consistently every single week, just sharing this stuff. And so I just started sharing my knowledge while I kept visualizing. I kept visualizing every single night before I'd go to bed. I would visualize waking up in a mansion in LA next to the wife, the woman of my dreams, have a red Ferrari, etc. And I visualized that every single night without fail. And so I started the YouTube channel and I started making videos. No clue how anything would happen. I had no clue how I would monetize it. I had a vague idea of maybe selling journals or selling merch, but I didn't think I could make money from that, right? Not like Arlen and Raphael, because I just, that wasn't my skill set. I'm not interested in making clothing and designing clothing and selling it and doing drop shipping. I was interested in, sharing my knowledge, helping people. That's my strong suit, and it's always been my strong suit, and it's always given me the most fulfillment. But I didn't know that coaching was a viable venture, because I was like, who's gonna pay this 20-something-year-old for life coaching? For manifestation coaching. Who even pays for manifestation coaching? Like, my world was so small, I couldn't even conceive of anything like this being a remote possibility. So you can imagine the kind of worldview, the paradigm that I had at the time. It's really hard to conceive of becoming wealthy or anything with that limited kind of worldview. So my worldview had to expand. But the only way my worldview expanded is when I started visualizing me waking up in that mansion every single day and that feeling of the wish fulfilled, which is also what I'm going to share with you. Bear with me. I know this story is getting long, but I only share this with you so that you have proof. Because I know a lot of people on YouTube, they start talking about this stuff. Everyone and their grandma starts talking about manifestation, etc. But they don't have the results to show for it. But I hate to brag, I have the results. I have the results, and our clients have the results. So this is actually proven. This actually works. You just need to apply it. Okay? So, going back to my story, I visualized every single night while I was making YouTube videos. And then one day, as though by magic, a woman reached out to me and she was like, I'll pay you $300 for email coaching. Like, whoa, I could make money like this through coaching. Never even occurred to me. Never even occurred to me. So I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. And so I immediately, I don't know, I made a PayPal or something. And then I, sent her an invoice, and then she paid immediately. I was like, holy crap, I just made my first $300 online. And so after that, I was like, I'm going to go all in on this. I wrote a book. It's called Life Mastery. You can find it on Amazon. It's still there. It's like a short 50-page book. And after that, curiously enough, I started following this other person, Sunny. His channel was called Personal Mastery Quest back then. And oddly enough, he lived very, very close to me, like in Long Island. And so I was like, holy shit, this guy's doing exactly what I wanted to do. He quit his job and he's selling coaching online. He was selling, like, at the time, a program, a manifestation coaching program, where you would work one-on-one with his clients. And then he told me about this program that would teach me how to build a coaching business. And, I was like, oh my God, I need to get that. And I couldn't afford it at the time, so I pirated it. I downloaded it. And then I used all the materials there, got results. Like, I remember when I launched my first ever program back in January of 2019, I opened the doors to, getting people in. I just promoted it to my audience. And like after the first 3 or 4 consultation calls I had, the third one or the fourth one paid me $1,000. I made my first $1,000 online. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. This actually works. This could be my ticket to freedom. And so I tripled down on it. I immediately took the money, like every single penny I had from making it with it, and I actually bought the legit program. The program was called Sam Muvins's Consulting Accelerator. They don't sell it anymore, but that's what I used. And then it taught me like how to do sales. It taught me how to, position my services, products online, and create a coaching offer. So after I did that, I had invested in myself. My confidence was sky high. I immediately called my parents. I was like, hey, I'm making like money now. This was back in Feb or March of 2019. I was like, I'm not going to go to my job. And they were devastated. They were livid because they paid $250,000 to send me to college. They're like, what do you mean you're not going? You're not going to do that job? Because after I did my summer internship, they gave me a full-time offer to come back, and they were paying me $50,000, health insurance, everything, right? And I called them up. I told my parents like, hey, I can't do this. Like, I really can't do this. And as soon as I told them that, they were like, okay, well, what are you going to do instead? It's like, I'm going to do this online thing. I'm making some money from it. They're like, you have to make $5,000 a month. Replace the income that you were going to get from your job, and then we will let you do this. I was like, okay, deal. That sounds like a good, fair challenge. And so I took up that challenge, and I was making I was still visualizing. I was making 1 to 3K a month until May of 2019, the month that I graduated. And I moved back home, and I was doing my thing. I was making these videos. You can look back at my old channel, May 2019. I was just so anxious every single day because I had to prove to myself that I could do it. Like, I had to make money. It was so important. I had to make this business work. Otherwise, I'd have to go back to this job. So my parents were supporting me, and then every single day my dad would come into my room and be like, did you make any money yet? Did you make any money yet? Is it working? Is it working? And I just felt so isolated and so lonely because I was just going through it alone, right? So, man, yeah, this is, I just think back to those moments and how things just seemed so dark. Things just seemed so impossible. It's like, to me, it just felt like, oh my God, this is impossible. How is this even going to happen? Like, I had no clue how it was going to happen. Like, and that month, everything was so important. I would just get on a sales call and another sales call, and then all the prospects could feel my desperation, and they would just be like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So that month was the worst month I ever had in business. Made absolute zero that month. And I remember the end of May, I was just sitting, bedroom floor, tears down my eyes, because I failed. I tried and I failed. My parents didn't say anything. They didn't say anything. The following month, I just continued. I was like, I have nothing to lose. I just hit rock bottom. Like, I literally have nothing to lose. And so I just showed up with complete freedom. It's like, it can't get any worse than this. So I still made YouTube videos, and then I started getting on calls, more and more consultation calls. And it's like this pressure, just relieved of this pressure. And that month, every single client that I got on a call with, the prospective clients that I got on a call with, they closed. And that was my first ever, I believe it was a $6,000 month or a $7,000 month. July might have been my first $12K month. So this was June 2019, July 2019 was my first 8K or 12K month. It was so long ago, I can't remember. And then August, I remember this. August was my first ever $21,000 month. And by January of 2020, I made my first ever $100,000 month. $100,000 in a month. And 2020 was my first $1 million year. The year prior was like a $300,000 year or something. And then 2020, Jan 2020 was $1 million. And so I just made more in 1 month than my parents do in a year, or my parents do. My dad does in a year. And so I was like, holy shit, this is absolutely insane. And they couldn't believe it either. They were like, oh, it worked. It's like, everyone doubts you until you make it, and then they want money from you. So that's kind of how it happens. So why do I share this story? Visualization. Amongst other things, I think visualization, correct, proper visualization was a huge part to cracking this. So now I'd like to share with you the two main methods of visualization that I used during that time. Okay. So before we get to visualization, we have to understand the nature of intention. Okay, and this is a concept taken from that book, Reality Transurfing. But this really, truly changed my life once I fully understood this. When we visualize, we're actually using intention. When we want to achieve a goal and move towards a goal, we're using this faculty known as intention. What is the definition of intention? Intention is the resolve to do and to have. My resolve to make this business work was very, very strong, very firm. I had given my life to it. The only way you can achieve goals that otherwise seem impossible are if you truly give your life to it. Meaning, you don't know what else you would do with your life. Like, this is the only thing you can conceive of. Like, even if I had to go back to a job, I would still be making videos. I would still be trying to make this happen. You know those entrepreneurs who like have 7 failed businesses, but then they keep going, and on the 8th failed business, they become a multimillionaire. That's kind of how it happens. You can't lose if you don't quit. The only way you lose is if you quit. And so when you understand how to utilize intention properly, success is no longer, oh, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? It's just a choice. You've made the decision. You've chosen for it to happen. Therefore, it is going to happen. Simple. So intention is loosely defined as your resolve to do and to have something. So there's 2 parts to this. There's the resolve to do and the resolve to have. When we speak of the resolve to do, we're talking about inner intention, or your personal petty intention, the prefrontal cortex. So that's your willpower. It's when you say, I'm going to fight. I'm going to battle until I get what I want. The benefit, the advantage, disadvantage of inner intention is, the advantage is it's very predictable. If you take massive action, you're going to get results, except you're not going to be fulfilled getting it. It is very, very possible to just take massive action, sell your soul, and get results. Very easy. Very easy to do it. Disadvantage is you'd be selling your soul. You would be, you would sacrifice your time, your fulfillment, and your mental, physical health, and you'd be drained. Kind of like me going to that 9-to-5 job. So for a lot of you who want to, maybe you're making income right now and you want to grow your income, and you're like, for me to grow my income, the only path I can see is I have to work twice as hard, or 3 times as hard, or 10 times as hard. And you don't want to do that. That's where outer intention comes in. Outer intention is the resolve to have. You make the resolve to have, you make your demand. Like, hey, this is what I want. I want to do nothing and have everything. Great, you will have it. How? Don't know. You've made the decision, it's going to happen. This is your resolve to have. So inner intention focuses on doing something to affect the world by manipulating the world, by moving the pieces around with your will. Outer intention focuses on how the goal gets accomplished by its own accord. I'm going to say that one more time because this is the most important point. If there's one thing you take away from this video, it's this. Outer intention has no conditions. It doesn't say, oh, but this is possible and that's not possible, so you have to focus on the possible. Outer intention says, I don't care what's possible or not possible. This is what I want. This is the decision I've made, and it's going to happen. I don't care when it's going to happen. I don't care how it's going to happen. You know, it's just I've made the decision and I will have it. That's it. So when your focus goes to outer intention, you're utilizing the God intention. So if we look at inner intention, it's a tiny sliver within outer intention. So outer intention is the intention that belongs to you and does not belong to you at the same time. It's the force that made Christ walk on water. It's the force that makes yogis levitate. It's those unexplainable phenomena that you see in nature that you just cannot explain. That's what's causing it, outer intention. Inner intention is what's within the confines of this reality. We will act within the limits of our current reality. We will take action. Okay? Now, one isn't better than the other. Both are actually necessary. The issue with outer intention is it's very, very unpredictable. It works at its own time. So you can't sit on the couch and try to summon outer intention like a genie. It doesn't work like that. It works when there is a heart and mind coherence. So with every single technique that we do to influence reality, you always have to remember the underlying principle. The underlying principle is we're trying to achieve one thing. With affirmations, with scripting, with visualizing, with journaling, with the myriad of techniques you do, there is one main goal. Heart and mind coherence. We're trying to unite our subconscious and conscious, heart and mind together, the thought and the feeling together. When that happens, outer intention gets activated. Outer intention also gets activated when you focus on the greater good, when you focus on how your goal benefits the whole of mankind. Now, that's not a necessity. You can just focus on how your goal benefits you and still be able to use outer intention. But remember, outer intention is the godly intention. It focuses on win-win power situations. Inner intention focuses on force situations, win-lose. I'm trying to take something. I want to win. Okay? So we need to use both inner and outer intention. But the thing is, we want to unite our inner intention with outer intention. That's the key. What does that mean? Whatever I intend, I want to work towards it whilst I have heart and mind coherence. We're uniting our personal intention with the godly intention. We're walking one with God. We are co-creating. We make the order and we just act dispassionately, and it will show up when the time is right. Now, you will notice sometimes that you take action towards something, but it never happens that way, right? Like, let's say you wanted to find your partner. This is kind of what happened to me. You want to find your ideal partner, your soulmate. You get on these dating apps and you start going on different dates. And you visualize meeting your ideal partner and having a great relationship, a very fulfilling relationship. Every single date you go on is a bust. It's the non-ideal partner. However, one day you get on the tram, the bus, and then you see this beautiful person, beautiful woman, and you have to go up to her and speak to her. So you go up to her and you approach her, and she turns out to be your wife a few years later. That's exactly what happened to me. So you never know how outer intention operates. But outer intention has a reliance on momentum. With the momentum of inner intention, you can access outer intention. So what I mean by that is if you sit on a couch and you do nothing, you can't access outer intention. Outer intention is only activated in that heart and mind coherence with our personal intention. I hope this is making sense. Once you grasp this, promise you anything you want, possible, easy, done. Anything you want. Anything. So, goal, Go out and do what you do know while you focus on what you do want, instead of worrying about what you don't know and being frustrated with what you don't want. Whatever you focus on, you move towards. Now, two main methods of visualization that intention this plays into. Let's get to the first. Okay, method number one of visualizing that completely changed my life. The main method we're going to be using is visualizing the goal. There's a lot of misconceptions when we talk about visualizing the goal. Here's a formula for reality creation. What plus why plus who equals how and when. When I know what I want intellectually, and I know why I want it emotionally, and I know who I must become in order to achieve it at the identity level, the how and when shows itself. We teach our clients this in our flagship Reality Mastery program. But for those of you who are lacking clarity, lacking purpose in your life, you feel lost. This is why. Because people keep focusing here. They think about like, oh, I want this. I think I want this. How is it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Is it even possible? That's the first thing they think about. Why does that happen? Because of the mind. Because we've been socially conditioned to believe certain things are possible and certain things are not possible. We've been socialized so much to the point where our thoughts aren't even ours. They have been implanted by society. Why? Because there are these entities called pendulums that want to influence you and extract your energy. They drain your attention. If you look at everything around you, social media, everything is trying to steal your attention. Your attention is the most valuable asset you have. Once your attention is under your control, you can utilize intention. Intention is attention in motion. It's dynamic. Attention is static, but it's in your control. When it gets sucked into things, you don't have the possibility to move towards anything. You're moving towards what that thing wants you to move towards. So pendulums are things we have to be very, very aware of. Pendulums are groupthink, egregores. When you listen to the news and you become fearful, when you join a political party or you follow sports, these are pendulums. There are constructive and destructive pendulums. Pendulums are everywhere. There's no escaping them. You can only refuse to play the pendulums game by taking back your attention, aka becoming conscious. Okay? Cool. So, what plus why plus who equals how and when? The key with visualizing the goal is we're focusing on the what without any condition. So when I visualized my goal, I was a student. I want you to keep this in mind. I was a student about to go into a 9-to-5 after graduation. I was visualizing living in a mansion with a Ferrari, with a smoking hot girlfriend wife. That's what I was visualizing. What gave me the right to do that? If I were in my old paradigm, I wouldn't be visualizing that. I would be visualizing having a stable, secure job. I was just daydreaming. I was just dreaming. Have dreams. That's it. That's what visualizing the goal is about. For a lot of our clients, when they come in, they're like, oh, I visualize this, but I feel this resistance. Good. That means what you're visualizing is outside of the zone of your comfort. It has to be uncomfortable. Because when you visualize that, your mind comes in and says, you can't have that. You're not good enough. You're not this, you're not that. You can't have it. Okay. Doesn't matter. Visualize it anyways. Because we're visualizing for the good emotions. We're visualizing for the feeling. We're directing our mind in one direction, and we're feeling the associated feelings. We're having heart and mind coherence to activate outer intention. Do you see how this works? When you systematically, repetitively do this, you're attuning your thought energy to those parameters, the parameters of that lifeline. There are many different possible realities that could unfold in the next moment. The reality that you're moving towards is determined by what you're focusing on, aka where your frequency or your thought energy is being attuned to. If you imagine a television with an antenna, you can't just take apart that television and find the channels. The antenna, the waves, it's receiving that information. Just like that, if you took apart our brain, you wouldn't find the thoughts in it. The brain, the mind, is connected like an antenna to that possible sector of reality that already exists. Every possible reality that can be conceived of. If you can conceive it, you can be it, you can have it, you can do it. It already exists. All you need to do is attune to it and stay attuned to it for long enough, even despite the challenges and the tests. That's where most people fail, is when the tests and challenges come up, they fold. They're not able to go through it. So when you're visualizing your ideal scene, do not feel guilty. Take pride in it. Enjoy it. These are your dreams. These are your goals. This is your inner world. Whatever image you present to the mirror of reality with your thoughts will be reflected externally. Okay? So the key here is to focus on the feeling. Forget about what's possible and not possible. Imagine you're a kid in a shop and you can have anything you want. Reality just reflects what you give yourself permission to have. Give yourself permission to have those things. The number one reason people can never achieve what they want in their lives is because they can't give themselves permission to have it. I can't tell you the number of times, because I'm a very logical person. And so it's these smart overthinkers that get in their way. Have you ever noticed that? People who are overly logical, they think too much, they overthink things like, oh, how is this even going to work? Why would people even pay me? Those are the people who never, they always stay stuck. They always get to a certain level, but they stay stuck. But the people who are ignorance is bliss, they're kind of dumb. They're making more money than you. You know, they're achieving, like you'll notice your friends, like people you know, kids who are making tons of money. Why? Because their overthinking logical mind doesn't get in the way. Allow yourself to be dumb. That's like to be innocent. Be innocent. Be more innocent. Be more open. To receive, you have to become open. Get into that feminine mode of receiving. So I focused on this mansion thing for a while, and now I live in a mansion. It's not in LA, it's in Florida. I could live in a mansion in LA. I just didn't want to pay the taxes. I could have a Ferrari. I just didn't want to pay for it. You know, like it's like maintenance. So I drive a Mercedes instead. And my goals have changed as I've grown, but I'll probably get a Ferrari at some point. I want to reward myself and not just get it. So I'm waiting for that big milestone. But now I'm in control of it. I'm choosing to not have it, right? That's what I want for you as well. To be able to get to the point where you have the choice. So, visualizing the goal, protocol. How do we do this? You want to do this every single morning and every night as you fall asleep. Neville Goddard talked about this. The feeling of the wish fulfilled. Every single night before you go to bed, visualize your ideal. Visualize your goal as you fall asleep. You will attune to that lifeline. What's important about morning and night is your brain waves are slower. Your brain waves are much slower. They're in the alpha state. You're more receptive. You'll notice you're a lot more creative in the morning and night too. That's because your brain waves are slower. During the daytime, we're more conscious, we're more prefrontal cortex. The beta brain waves are more predominant. So we want to avoid that during the day. So the key things to visualizing the goal are visualizing morning and night, focusing on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and systematically visualizing it, and dispassionately, kind of like brushing your teeth. You're not super passionate about brushing your teeth, right? You're just like, oh, just something that I do. Oh, I'm visualizing my goal, something that I do. If you look at the purest form of intention, you make the intention to go to the fridge and make yourself a sandwich. You just do it. You just go out there and get what you want. Why isn't goal achievement like that? Okay, I want to make $1 million a month. I'm just going to go out and get it. That's it. The issue is with complex goals, the mind gets in the way. there is space and time for mind to get in the way. And it says, oh no, but what if this is possible? What if that's not possible? What if you made the intention to get a sandwich, and instead of just dissipating that intention immediately into action, you just sit there and you wonder, like, what if the sandwich doesn't turn out the way that I want? What if it doesn't taste good? You're going to get in your head. The thinking mind gets in the way. Don't think, just be. Just do it. And my coach taught me this too. My personal trainer. He's like 67, trained with Arnold back in Gold's Gym. And whenever we get to the end of the workout, he would always tell me, like, do this exercise now. I'm like, oh, but Lou, I'm so fatigued. I don't think I can do 7 reps, dude. I don't think I got like 15 reps in me right now. It's like, buddy, just do it. Do however much you can. That's the shift. Do however much you can. Because the mind thinks it can do a certain amount. But the body, you don't know what the body, like the mind is so disconnected from the body. Like, I want you to just think about that. I thought that I could do like 7 reps, but then I end up doing 15. I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know I could do that. I surprised myself. You will miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So one of the things we teach our clients is suspend your disbelief. Just do it anyways. Do it anyways. Don't think. You don't have to see the possibility of it. I didn't see the possibility of me starting a coaching business and it working. I had no clue how it would happen. I just did it anyways. I just operated on faith. Okay? That is a video for another day. But visualizing the goal is something we will be doing 80% of the time until we get definite instructions for how to enact and carry out the goal. Okay? I did this, visualizing the goal, until I had the intuitive insight. My reality showed me, start making YouTube videos. God told me, start making YouTube videos. And then everywhere I looked, YouTube video, YouTube video, YouTube video. It's abundantly clear that I have to make YouTube videos. That is how intuition works. You start seeing the same sign everywhere. Then you're like, it couldn't be more obvious. I think I should start making YouTube videos. And so that's exactly what I did. Visualizing the goal is great. Visualizing the goal, what it does is it attunes you to that lifeline. But it still doesn't cause movement. Unless your goal is one step from where you are right now, it won't cause any kind of a dramatic change. So what needs to happen instead? We must learn to visualize the process. All right, my friends, this is something they will never ever tell you. Visualizing the process. They'll never tell you this because they don't understand this. Most of the gurus you see on YouTube and people you hear about, even the teachers, even the spiritual teachers, the books that you read, the reason they don't understand this is because there's a false premise that you shouldn't focus on the how. There is a right time to focus on the how, and that is when God delivers you the how. That's when we use the how. Okay? I know I said what, why, and who equals how and when. When you focus on the goal, the what, why, and who, the how and when will show up. Then you have to focus on the how and when. This is the number one problem with this industry, with the manifestation industries, because they tell you like, oh, just don't focus on the how. God will give it to you, which is great. It's only great when you don't know the how. But when God gives you the how, you must use it. Use what God gave you. It's kind of like the Ferrari being delivered, but you refuse to drive it. Because no, somehow God will place me in the passenger seat or the driver's seat of the Ferrari, and God will also make my foot press the pedal, right? So there's always a balance. There's always a balance in these extremist theories. But visualizing the process is probably one of the main things that allowed me to move towards my goal. So what does the process do? Goal attunes you to the lifeline. Process causes movement along the lifeline towards the goal. It bridges the gap between your current and your desired. When I made the intention to have a successful business, making $20,000 a month. So backstory, July of 2019, I made the intention, July of 2018, I read this book called Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. In it, he said, set a goal, set a 1-year goal. I was like, okay, cool. I'll set a goal for getting to 20K a month with a coaching business. Why not? I had just found out that I could do a coaching business because someone had reached out to me for coaching, right? It's like, okay, cool. I will, this is my senior year. I will, have a coaching business doing 20K a month. Boo-hoo, let's see if that happens. No belief. Didn't believe it. You don't have to believe in your goals for them to manifest. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Belief is what follows. It's an effect. It's great if it happens. You don't need it. It will come along the way. Belief coming is a good sign, but that's not the aim itself. Don't ever mistake that, okay? So, visualizing the process causes movement along the lifelines. Now, you might be wondering, what the fuck is the process? What do I visualize? Here's what you visualize. Before each task, before you do a task, you visualize it going really, really well. That's it. So, when I visualized the goal, God gave me ideas to start a YouTube channel. I took that and I worked with it. I visualized making really great YouTube videos. I visualized people responding really well to my YouTube videos. I visualized, once I found out that I could do a coaching business, people reaching out to get coaching from me. I visualized my ideal clients, me attracting them like a magnet. Every single day, before I made a video, before I did any marketing piece, I visualized this campaign working really, really well. Okay? So just like an artist, the artist visualizes and feels the art getting better and better every single day. The focus, the energy that you have, the frequency, the lifeline that you're on is that lifeline of continual improvement. You're on the wave of continual improvement. Things just keep getting better and better every single day. Every single day I'm met with blessings. I deliver a wonderful service for wonderful pay, right? So I did this with my YouTube videos. So the key is, before you do a task, you visualize the process. Morning and night, you visualize the goal. You do this dispassionately, just like brushing your teeth. Why do I say dispassionately? Quazi, shouldn't I focus on the feeling? Didn't you say focus on the feeling? Yes, I did. You doof. But there's a difference between focusing on the feeling during the visualization and having a general air of dispassion before and after the visualization. Okay? You have to learn to play with dichotomies. If you want to crush it, just understand the world is dual. That's why your favorite gurus will say something one day and then change their minds the next. You can't be afraid to do that. Don't have a consistency bias. So, dispassionate acting, that is pure intention. When you go to make a sandwich, when you brush your teeth, it's dispassionate. You just make the intention, you act. With your visualization, it's dispassionate. You make the intention to visualize, you visualize. That's it. When you don't know your goal, just visualize what you want. You don't know the how, dispassionately visualize what life looks like after you've achieved the goal. So, just a slight caveat, if we're going to go back to visualizing the goal, you might be having, questions about this. I didn't know how I would get to my goal. So I just visualized what life looks like after I've achieved the goal, which is waking up in the mansion next to the partner of my dreams, the car, living on top of a hill, etc. The third thing, going back to visualizing the process, is continual improvement. The focus is on continually improving every single day. Every single day in every single way, my life gets better and better. My world is taking care of me. That's your general attitude. And then the mirror of reality will reflect that. I'm continually getting better and better every day. There's a great book on this by Cal Newport called So Good They Can't Ignore You. There's a 3-pronged formula for fulfillment. If you want to be fulfilled, it doesn't matter what you do. The purpose thing is a lie. The purpose hypothesis, the passion hypothesis, is a lie. What actually, after, Cal Newport studied thousands and thousands of people, different papers, etc., consulted with the best in the world. And what he noticed was the people who are the most fulfilled, they describe their purpose to have three main things. Their purpose gives them autonomy, freedom of time. They make their own schedule. It makes an impact on something greater than themselves. It's impacting the world. And there is continual improvement. There is continued improvement. It's a skill. That's the main thing. When you treat something as a skill and you're getting better and better at it every day, but you have to notice that you are. The moment you start feeling like you're stagnating, that's when you fail. Even if you don't see the improvements are happening. You have to train yourself to focus on improvements. For example, you're going to the gym, you don't see any difference happening. That's when people quit. Well, the improvement that's happening is your willpower. You're showing up consistently every single day. Your willpower is getting stronger and stronger every day. That's it. You just focus on that. Because this is why people don't succeed, because they don't focus on what they want. They focus on what they don't want and what they don't have and what they want to get away from. That's the failure uniform. Stop wearing the failure uniform. Wear the success uniform. Okay. If you want to take this deeper, what I encourage you to do is click right here to watch this video. It's like this third video I made on this channel. It's going to be probably one of the most important videos for you because it's going to show you how to balance yourself when you fall off on one end of the spectrum. Your importance level gets too high. You become too passionate. How to stop being addicted to failure. Okay, so you can click right here to access this video. It's titled The Law of Unattachment. So I'll see you in this next video right now. Otherwise, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this. This is an unscripted channel. I don't script or edit any of these, just like minimal. I'd love to know what you think. It's a new format I'm testing out for those of you who've been watching my other channel. But blessings to you, much love, and I hope you'll use this visualization technique. Thanks.